drums, man. Always feels good. Welcome back to Game Winning Drive. This is episode number 2 in this NFL season. Mikey.
Season 2, episode 2.
Right. Was the World Cup, was that a season or was that just kind of like a bridge?
This is, season 3, episode 2.
Yeah. So, every episode we do for an hour, but we plan it out for hours and hours at a time. We had 6 hours of planning this one. We were all over the place. At one point, we were going to talk about Israel, Palestine. Mikey was pushing more for the tariff discussion. Thought that would suit the Atlas better, but dude, it's Survivor. We're talking Survivor today. Mikey, are you cool with that?
I suppose we can trim down the geopolitical.
We're putting a pin. We're putting a pin in that.
Okay, all right, we'll come back to it. Week 3, when when the decision is like pretty straightforward and there's not that much. Half the contest going to be on one side, half the contest on the other. That's when we'll get into, the Strait of Hormuz and whatnot.
Right. We've been thinking about adding that to Atlas, especially the Strait. Anyway, it's August 18th. The season's getting closer. Been staring at the map a little more. I even watched some preseason stuff, man. You've been watching a little preseason. It's hard to watch those games.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I touched on this before, but I can't remember. Where, in terms of like, maybe it wasn't here, but it was something else. Where in terms of sports gambling, I've always felt like it was so wacky that when you talk to people about, the sports that they bet on, oftentimes this is mostly dummies. They'll say like, I like NFL because that's what I know the most about, So like, I feel like that's where I can really get my edge. I'm like, well, that's not really how sports betting works. And like the fact that you think you have a lot of information, now extrapolate that to like the entire world having that much information. And so like you're betting like one of the most heavily information trafficked events on the planet. I mean, maybe like Premier League soccer might rival it, but like you get the point. And so I've always thought that preseason NFL is ripe for the sports betting picking because, the information on a lot of these, people that aren't even going to be in the league in whatever 2 weeks is hard to come by. And like coaches have different philosophies on how they approach preseason. Some treat it as like a literal scrimmage where the outcome is completely irrelevant. Like others, want to teach their team how to win, whatever that means. So like, so I don't know. I've always felt like that was a prime opportunity to get some, plus EV sports betting down. But
yes, it seems like people get limited in the preseason a lot because it's easy to be sharp if you put the legwork in.
Yeah.
The thought of though that people want to bet the most popular stuff and it's more likely to not have the edge in it, whether it's NFL or Premier League. I think it's like a sense of control.
Yeah.
And like when you lose, you like know why you lost, or at least so it feels better.
Kind of like driving versus taking a plane. Like, you intuitively, or not, maybe not intuitively, you're exponentially more likely to die, but you somehow opt to, or you feel more like you can navigate in the car.
That's a sick analogy, man. How does all the people betting Little League World Series fit into this? Is it people who are like, because this is a thing happening right now.
Yeah.
In California, you get plus 200, they're going to win it all or whatever. And I guess it's like all the people who played Little League and they're like, I know this game. I know this sport.
It must be because like, I can't imagine that the average Joe is capable of getting like 50K down on a Little League game. That I would make that bet. They should post that bet on the site. If you show us tickets that collectively at the same line if you show us tickets that collectively add up to $50,000, then you win the bet.
Dude, it's a bad. You don't want that market to be like crazy deep liquidity, right? If there's millions bet on that, those
Yeah.
kids they might get their lives ruined for
Yeah,
losing.
or we just have old Timmy, do a 4-pitch walk and start cashing checks.
Right. If you're like 12 years, what are they? 12 years old in that little league? I
Yeah.
don't know, but like someone offers you $50K to run the wrong way around the bases.
Yeah, or just throw a beanball at somebody or something.
Right. Not even that egregious. I went too far with it, but yeah, just hitting someone. I mean, the kids got to know about it. It's like penetrated culture so much. Sports betting. One of the dads on the team's got to be like, "Oh, I saw someone bet $5,000 on y'all," and it's got to get.
Well, I also have to imagine that any the commercials during the game are DraftKings or whoever else.
Yeah,
ESPN. So even if they're watching their own game back, then they're gonna see a ton of commercials for it.
Ooh, dude, it's a slippery slope when DraftKings is hosting the lines and then the commercials, and the limits keep getting bigger because more and more people want it, and
the MLB pitchers are susceptible. You see that? I'm sure you saw that MLB pitcher that had like his first pitch was a ball, and they were pounding that heavy for like $5K a game or something, and he literally spiked it like 8 feet before the plate. He was like cricket bowling it in. And
this was a couple of years ago, like a year ago, but it came out.
Yeah, something like that. And then I don't know the exact story, but he threw one that was a dirt ball, and the dude swung at it.
And he's like, "Dang it!"
He was like, "Motherfuck!" You could see him like MFing the batter. He was like, "Why would you swing at that?"
Right, you got the batter, you got the pitcher, both betting props against themselves.
Yeah, it's like that throwing like screwballs, like 50-mile-an-hour knuckles.
The batter's swinging, trying to get a strike. It's like that South Park where both sides were trying to lose.
Trying to get it, doing what they can.
Yeah, I mean, if betting keeps getting bigger in the Little League World Series, I don't see how that's not going to happen. Like I guess kids on sports nowadays, they spend lots of money. They charge to go to the game, so it's like rich kids playing. It's not like poor kids like it used to be, where they might.
Yeah, I think that's like a big argument. They say like private equity is, controlling Little League sports nowadays, especially like the sports that cost more to play, lacrosse.
Yes, private equity. We need to bring some private equity to Survivor, dude. I don't know how, but these prize pools, man, I think about them every day. I think about, is it possible to win $20 million?
Is your enthusiasm, I don't know, tempered at all? For these prize pools, like compare it to when you were, hardcore poker guy, when you were playing all these tournaments. Did you find it more exciting at the beginning stages of a tournament? Let's say, I don't know, whatever tournament you like, 6 max, 5K, no limit, and there's 500 people in it, right? Knowing like, first place is 1.5 million, and like obviously I'm gunning for that, but if I make the final table, I'll probably get 250K or something like that.
Yeah, I guess there is kind of a up and down to the excitement, because at first, it's like, oh, it's so hard to win, but it's better than what else I've been doing in August.
I guess
it's something. Also, the amount is and like how much you're putting up compared to how much you can win. Like in the main event of poker, you put 10,000, you can win, what is it, like 8-9 million?
Yeah.
But if you're playing a tournament with only 600 people, it's obviously exciting still, but it doesn't like change your life in a way.
Yeah.
Also, Survivor, we don't know the payouts yet, right? Like
I guess that's true. I mean, we have an idea.
But like you can dream of winning, and then you can have the stack that with, oh, and I'm going to scoop everyone on Thanksgiving, Christmas, week 17, and do this play that leaves me the sole survivor.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is like, if we have a year, sure. Last year we ended with 5, and it was like, I don't know. I think you and I talked about this quite a bit, but last year it was like it seemed apparent, especially in the latter 2/3 or latter 4/5 of the season, or latter 1/5 of the season, that it was going to end up with quite a few winners, and so it happened to shake out where it was 5, which was like that's a good.
Low.
That's low. That is low. That was way lower than we were initially projecting. If you remember in like week 12 or something, obviously before Thanksgiving, you were talking about the potential for like 100 winners.
Yeah, dude, every week you bring that up, you raise the number even higher.
Is that true?
You
might be right.
Talking about 50, you're about 70, you're about 100.
I can't remember the exact number, but suffice to say that if it was 100, like that is such a downer. You win, like, you have this idea in mind, like you're going through the whole season, and like obviously everything that you think about is like, okay, how do I scoop $20 million? And like, if you have somebody else that you're with on the team that already chops it in half, or however many you have. So like, you're like, okay, how do I win $9 million? And then you get another guy on the team, and it's like, how do I win $4.5 million? And you're like, oh shit, 63 people won. Now I get like $21,000 chopped 3 ways with my teammates. I won $7,000.
Yeah, I mean it happens fast too, where you realize, oh, the 9 million can't happen. Now it's only 3 million.
Right.
And it's it doesn't feel good. I brought this chart up of all the different ones.
It's wacky how I don't know, in your mind, like 18 million can become like 40 grand pretty quick.
Right. I mean, that's what happened in 2020. It was 35 people chopped, and
those numbers are like really different. Like they're like really different.
Yeah. So I think the average, or a good average with the current structure, is like 1 in every 1,500 entries is a winner. Something like that.
Yeah. Well, so one number makes you like literally one of the richest people on the planet, and then the other like pays off a little credit card debt or something,
Yeah. And there's only, at the end of the season, it feels like, there's only 5 games that can really swing this a lot. Like it's this game that all the chalk won.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The early season stuff probably matters a lot too. Like if we go to this first week and 50% is on the Chargers, and the 15-20% chance of them losing Binks, then every day is a little more exciting, right? Through the season.
Well, we kind of diagnosed that for the World Cup pool, right? Where the early stages of the World Cup ended up being pretty important to your overall, ability to win that tournament, because you were sort of forced to take your risks early on in the group stage.
Right, and it still kind of worked into a chalk fest anyway, right? Like
a little bit. Yeah. We need to do more like a post-game analysis on that. Luckily, we have 3.7 years or whatever
for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yes, I have my my agents all playing each other to find the solution for.
Yeah. Okay.
On a computer that I won't look at again for about 3 years. So
by then it'll be like, like standing up and walking.
Right.
Like we trained ourselves in additional things besides World Cup.
They'll be kicking a ball around.
Yeah. Running real life simulations.
Yes. It still became like the only kind of non-chalky thing was Germany losing that early, but basically every other game was like, oh yeah, that team probably should have won. And
Yeah, the U.S. Belgium was like in hindsight, that one seemed like a no brainer. Like U.S. was going to get smoked.
Dude, hold on. I'm just realizing this. I was congratulating you last week on winning the 45K, but you just played the chalk and they won, dude. You didn't do any like you didn't do anything.
Sometimes that's how it works. But
Dude,
that's also a perfect example of uh, a guarantee of whatever $2 million or whatever it was, and you have it in your mind. Oh shit, I got a lot of stuff I can do with 2 million, and then you're like, oh, it's $44,400. Oh, and I'm getting a 1099. So now it's like 10 grand or something.
right. And I gave my cousin $500 of action
Right,
on
right. So now it's like 3,500 bucks. You're like, this sucks.
Yeah, man. Like thinking about this. Okay, obviously everyone wants to just scoop all the money themselves, but like when you have a friend playing, it's so natural to want to swap a little bit. I know my very first Circus Survivor. My homie Craig.
Yeah,
We're playing. We're gonna sign up together. We're naturally like, oh, let's do a little swap. Let's do a little save. Like,
yeah,
and you get a lot more mileage entertainment wise.
yeah.
And it, like, I don't know if this has ever happened. Maybe it's happened once, or who knows. But like people winning Survivor and like their best bud who also signed up with them, they didn't do a swap. So like one person scores 7 figures, and the other guy who probably bought lunch that day or whatever didn't get anything. But the swaps they eat away at the prize, and I guess preseason, you just think it's all worth it. If I cash for 3 million and only get 1.8, that's
Well,
fun.
yeah. I mean, of course, the goal is to buy your own ticket, don't pay any fees on it, enter your own picks, and win on your own. Like that would be ideal, but like
Ideal.
that's really difficult.
Yeah, and you're only complaining because you won and with the chalk, and you had to. Or
Yeah, and I'm
I,
getting taxes and
for me, it's so fun to be in on a run that like you know whatever entries you end up with, which I'm hoping I'm gonna just see you in Vegas like in 4 days, Mikey. Then I want to swap a little bit. My entry, Lula, I named after my dog that sometimes interrupts our show. I felt like
yeah.
that was maybe
I haven't heard her in a while.
Yeah, I guess she's waiting for the dogs to start barking, man.
Yeah, perhaps.
That doesn't start happening until September. Hopefully, a lot. Um, thinking of just September and these games going, I was just kind of marinating on the season coming up, and I was trying to think. I keep saying how excited I am, and like why am I excited? Like what actually is the thing? And this is what I've landed on. So
Okay.
like we're adults, and like you're in like life, and you gotta handle your business. You got
Yeah.
responsibilities.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got you got kids. You got people relying on you. You gotta like do the right thing. But during Survivor, when like you have basically 20 million bucks on every game, that's what it feels like. And I feel like during those games, I can like maybe let loose. Is that the word? But like take that to the extreme where I've been bottling up this energy all year, waiting to have $20 million on each game. And those 3 hours or whatever, 7 hours on Sunday is when I get to let it take the cork off. You know what I'm saying? And there's none of that in August. And even
Is,
cheering for you during the World Cup, there wasn't any of that.
is football, um, a contributing factor in that, or if this prize pool was, on Chinese horse racing and it had the exact same time and outcome and prize pool, would you feel the same way?
Well, we're playing Survivor via the NFL, right? It's
That's
not
what I
like
mean. Yeah.
football. I think in general, I would feel almost the same way. But football one, it's a pretty good game, dude. It's like, I know I talk about how Survivor taps into some primal stuff in us.
Yeah.
And football, I forget if I heard a podcast or read a paper about this, but like football taps into this like American manifest destiny thing where you're claiming territory and you're working with all sorts of components, trying to gain ground, and then you gain the ground. It's something where it's like in our DNA. Maybe that's a stretch.
No, I can see it. I mean, I don't know.
It's a pretty good game, and it's like in our cultural DNA in a way that soccer will never be, and like hockey will never be. Even though those are great games, and it's fun to yell at the TV when that's on, when you got some money on it. So I think maybe not quite as much if it was Chinese horse racing, but when there's 20 million bucks on the line, like, yeah, I'm watching all the horse races. I'm coming up with crazy theories.
Yeah.
I'm watching them pre-race to see which horse is taking it serious, which is messing around. I'm projecting. Yeah. I'm still going to do all that stuff for sure. Would you not?
I don't know. I don't necessarily have the same affinity for the game of football. I don't know. There's just something about it. I mean, I played football for 12 years. So
are you saying you're too cool? You're too cool for football, dude?
A little bit. Actually a little bit. Dude. And I'm in high stakes fantasy leagues. I'm in a ton of stuff that is dependent on the outcome of these games. And maybe that's a contributing factor as to why it lost its appeal to me over the years. Dude, I'm much more into the idea of the Survivor contest than I am the underlying spectacle that it's based on.
Well, I understand that. Survivor is pretty awesome, right? But
yeah,
fantasy football might have ruined some of your experience, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, how do you even draft your players if you're not like
I also I don't know. Obviously, that I live in Washington, D.C. area. And so my team was the Redskins for a number of years. And I wonder if that was a contributing factor because they were so bad for 2 decades. And the owner was poopy. And
right. And the name change kind of stole some of your identity, right? Like
a little bit.
Ripped out your childhood, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the game just isn't quite what it was.
Yeah, so how do you okay, well, this is worth talking about just for a minute, right? Like, I'm in a fantasy football league too. I've never won. I've been in for over 10 years. There's a trophy. They're sending pictures of the trophy. I'm never getting the trophy. I know something about these type of contests, right?
Yeah. Presumably your skills should transfer at least somewhat.
Right. And since I never win it, that they think the Survivor, they're like, oh, Mr. Survivor doesn't even know that he shouldn't start that running back, or he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So we got the draft coming up, dude, and I act like
I've won I don't know. The one league that I've been in with my high school buddies, which is low stakes, I've won 1 out of every 3 years.
Are you auto draft or not, Mikey?
No way. It's an auction league. I mean, the whole thing is the draft. I mean, auto draft is wackadoo. I mean, that's insane.
But doesn't Yahoo just have pretty good projections, and they're smarter than me at the player points? So just let it rip.
Oh, okay. So for a snake draft, yeah, but for an auto draft, or sorry, not an auto draft, auction draft. If one person makes a bizarre bid, it throws everything else off. So the projections kind of go out the window.
Are you using some tools or something ever to know your auction prices?
Okay, so for that league, no, I'm shooting from the hip. But I have 2 higher stakes, more important leagues, and on those I have a partner that is hosts a sports talk radio show. So he spends his whole life thinking about this, these 2 teams, and which is good because I've often, before the draft, I have told him in past years that there are teams that are certain like blind spots for me. Like I have a difficulty naming like 4 players on the Raiders right now. I just don't know it. Or like
So you're a silent partner? You're just riding his coattails to the end?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like really riding.
Dang, dude.
But like this league is high stakes to the point that, all of I shouldn't say all, most of the faces of the team have brains of the team.
I don't know what you mean.
So like I'm the face of my 2 teams in these high stakes leagues, but I got a brains department.
You got the analytics, you got the
I got an analytics department, and that's the case for I think like 9 out of the 10 people that are playing. One guy does everything, on his own, and it shows that he doesn't have a brains department for his team.
That's funny. It reminds me of when those poker apps were booming and how all the rich guys would be battling each other, but they all had their
their proxy. But it was just True Teller playing Galfond, or and then some 2 rich guys rooting each other on.
Right. You look at the table, it's Bill Gates versus Warren Buffett, but
they'd never even seen it.
Warren Buffett ain't pressing check raise or whatever. Yeah, so we'll see. Hey, reminder, by the end of the season, we'll check in if we won our fantasy leagues again, man.
Yeah. I don't, difficult for me to talk fantasy, a lot, especially since I don't really make a lot of the decisions. I'll say this: I do make a lot of like the strategic, strategy relevant decisions where the underlying player isn't really the what's in question. Like it's more about like, should we go receiver, running back, or running back, receiver, running? Those types of decisions, not the actual player, but like the.
Right. Okay. I'm not really sure what you mean, but I guess it's kind of comparable to Survivor in that we can have an edge in Survivor via just.
Well, I guess I mean like
game.
If somebody's like, should we draft Amon-Ra St. Brown, or should we draft Mike Evans or something? I'm like, I don't necessarily care about that. I think we shouldn't be drafting a receiver in this position. I don't have a strong inkling between individual players, but more of an overall strategy idea.
You have some principles that you're sticking with.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm trying to think of some like Survivor parallels. We got principles and like, do you think you're starting to get those in Survivor after a year?
Maybe. So like, I guess a somewhat comparable situation would be like, if you have a team that's a 15-point favorite, and then you have 3 teams that are 7-point favorites, and those are the only teams that are 7 or more point favorites in a given week, and you are deciding whether it's time to burn the 15 or one of the 3 7-point favorites. And so I think if the situation was comparable to what I was talking about with fantasy, I would be more of the person that would be like, I think we should pick the 7-point favorite here, but I don't care which 7-point favorite.
Yeah, dude, that's a good one. Where you're like, you recognize, okay, there's a chalk thing and a future value thing.
Yeah.
And you just know from the game that you want to be setting yourself up.
Right. So it's more of a strategy thing than it has anything to do with the actual football teams that are playing.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, or I think in September, October, those are the tough decisions in Survivor.
Yeah.
Early on in Survivor, like there's first couple months, maybe just September, but there's never really an obvious play that's good.
Well, because like your ICM at that moment is so low. Like, if you're gonna make the right decision and cash in, it's like, okay, you just gained $160 on your ticket.
Right. At most.
Instead of like, towards the end of the season, like that decision could be, $400,000 or something like that.
Yes. I've been recording some lesson videos talking about that exact topic. Very excited about putting those out in a couple of weeks. the sweet obvious plays, they don't happen unless you either set yourself up for it, like, oh, I'm definitely saving Buffalo for this week and this week and this week. I'm not touching them until I get to use them and drop the hammer on people, or you can kind of get lucky and back into them sometimes.
In what way?
Like, let's say last year, you're like, I really think Seattle sucks and I'm not using them, or I think New England sucks and I'm not using them. Like, they're just due to be bad. I mean, this is like,
yeah. I see what you're saying.
But then, like
things change over the year, and your initial. I mean, if it went the other way, where you're like, I'm banking, I don't know, I'm banking Baltimore because they're so good, and then they end up being really bad. That, I guess it could equally go that way, but.
Yeah, right. No, that was a common thing last year. Exactly that. Where week 2, Baltimore, big favorite, huge favorite, and they were supposed to be one of the favorites on Thanksgiving. They ended up being. So a lot of people didn't want to use them week 2. And if you used them week 2, you didn't get wrecked by them on Thanksgiving, and they were a huge favorite, and they weren't even the most popular team because so many people tried to be cute and take Arizona week 2. Arizona ended up winning, I think. Anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, Survivor.
I remember recall last year, a lot of like the cute spots ended up panning out for people. So
yeah, every week there's cute spots that get through, right?
Oh, yeah, like the shit teams that you're taking in an effort to to bank them in the only weeks that you were able to pick them. From what I remember, they did really well. Like they definitely overperformed.
Yes, it's like you're gassing up your entry. You're charging it up every time you take one of these teams. Like this week,
didn't we talk about? I'm vaguely recalling shows from last year where this would have been like a week 8, 9, 10, 11 show where previously we were like, oh, well, the Cardinals suck and they want, and we got them through in week 2. And then whatever, the Raiders sucked and we got them through in week 5. And then Tennessee sucks and we got them through, and the Jets sucked. And so, all these teams kind of performed well. And so it was impacting the decision for future, for like week 13, we were like, all right, let's roll it again on, who the Saints.
Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland, exactly. So like, I vaguely remember that.
Dude, that's how you win that's how you have a dream of winning $20 million is charging up an entry, saving all the good teams, and then just smashing everyone in the second half. I think like everyone with a handful of entries needs to get their mind right going in on how they're going to get an edge. And I'm thinking this is what I'm going to do this year, man. I'm trying to make 10 entries that are the most powerful entries like possible. So I'm strongly thinking Vegas week 1, Tennessee week 1. Not sure if any other teams really fit the bill, but getting through with one of these that I got on the screen right now, which sidebar, on the map, you can now turn on this option in the controls to multi-select things. So I got 2 things selected just to kind of chew on. But getting through either one of those teams, just if you pick that and it survives, your entry will be the most valuable one in the field. The people who take Chargers and survive, their entries will not be the most valuable. And I'm saying it now, Mikey. I'm going on record that I'm going to make whatever one of my entries goes on a run is going to be so powerful. It's going to have all the good teams. It's going to be so flexible in all the holidays. I'm going to stick to the bottom of the barrel for September. You think I'll hold to that, or am I just?
I don't know. I mean, but I also think that doesn't preclude you from losing like down the road. It's like it doesn't like lock anything up. You can just island yourself in week 14 into a loss. You know?
Right. Oh, it's just not fair when you do that. You save
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
favorite. That was the story of 2020 Survivor, where there was an 18-point favorite, the Rams hosting the Jets, and they lost. Don't even get me started here, but here I go. Yeah. Anyway, that's my plan, dude. I'm saying this, but when it gets time to put the picks in, it's like, I'll put one on the Chargers. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to say it out loud so I stick to it, but who knows, man.
I kind of liked when we were looking through the entries and kind of like scoping out and also like diagnosing the type of player that somebody was based on the picks that they made last year. And I used to really vibe with the picks that were like, they somehow navigated week 2, week 3, and then they get to week 4, and all 10 were on the Steelers, or they just had like a different path to get to a certain point, and then that point is where they went bam. And I did that on the World Cup. I think there are weeks in the NFL, and there were in the World Cup. I can't remember who I showed. Oh, Morocco, where I just if Morocco didn't win in the knockout stage, in the second round of the knockout stage, I was cooked. That was it.
Oh, right.
I think I had like 13 or 14 entries on Morocco or something.
Right, and that was kind of double because you had to have them win and then not win the next round.
And then not win the next. Yeah, it was a parlay.
Yeah, thinking about that, just reliving the entries and finding the stories. We got this filter page for the whole contest, and I'm thinking of now what cool features it would be to also show, like, okay, which of these were the chalk, which were the small favorites.
Yeah,
kind of adding the more map stuff to this. And I'm getting ideas. Dude, we got so many things to add to the website before the season.
I had an idea, and I want to know what you think about.
Yeah, man.
It's potentially something that could be added to the site, but you're going to tell me like it's, I don't know, too resource heavy, too dev heavy, whatever.
Should I go to a page right now or just take it off? You want to see anything?
No, this is like this is more esoteric. It's like not as clearly defined.
Lay it on me.
Basically, I'm thinking like, what other things in life are capable of being survived? And so, like, I didn't have any good examples at first, and then the obvious example is with sports. So it's like, take the NBA for example. So like every 4 days you have to pick an NBA team that could easily become a survivor. And I thought that would be like a contest that could be pretty simply put together.
If the team plays back to back in the 4 days, and they win one, lose one, like, how does that count? It gets messy.
No, it's just in a 4 week 4 day segment that's assigned and divided before the entire season. If a game takes place on your specified days, then it falls within that category to be picked, and then you just have to submit a pick in that time.
So if, let's say, the Nuggets play at the Magic and they host the Magic on a Monday and a Tuesday.
Sure, you could pick either game.
Oh, okay, you have to pick a game, not a team in the period. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It just gets messy, dude. The playoffs work good. NBA playoffs, you can do it. Hockey playoffs.
Why wouldn't that work?
Because it's not as natural as just got to survive this Sunday. Got to survive this round. Like, the games are all kind of scattered. Sometimes the team has 38 games, the team has 36 games played.
Yeah, that part is true, and that's why you have to divide it by days, because
I think they added English Premier League on Splash, which works good. It's a routine, just like the NFL, but draws make it weird, maybe. But
even with Premier League, yeah, draws are tough. But like, I don't know. How many teams are there? 24? I don't know.
When you were saying other Survivor things, I was
Okay. So yes, let me get to that.
okay.
Like sports are the obvious, underlying thing that could work. But what about like, stock market as an example? You take a stock and like 9 a.m. Monday morning, and then 4 p.m. Friday. You make your pick Monday morning, and it has to be up money by Friday, by close of business on Friday.
I love it. Now we're cooking, Mikey.
And so, each week, and you can limit it to like however small you want it to be, the Dow, or if you want to get crazy, S&P or whatever. And so,
Dude.
you're in real trouble if there's a downturn in the overall market. But there's always some green in in a huge downturn.
Dude, this is brilliant. I might just stop working on Atlas to build this idea because there's
should we not release this episode?
Dude, we've said too much. We gotta go stealth all of a sudden, dude. No. Hey, what I'm thinking of is in all the financialized things, there's all these derivatives, right? There's options, there's ETFs, there's index funds. There's all these derivatives where it's like you take the thing and you package it in a new thing.
Yeah.
And then that has a new risk profile, but it represents the asset, whatever.
Yeah.
And making a new derivative of all things survivorized.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What else can be survivored is what was going through my mind.
Right. And you just do pure financial stuff. Like, each survivor, there has to be a set of assets that are in each game, so to speak.
Right.
Like we'll have a hard metals survivor. And we'll have the
or like I'm a Nikkei survivor guy.
Right. Or like
I'm a Hang Sec survivor guy.
We do, or it's like pork bellies, orange juice, coffee.
Yeah.
And
you're a commodities guy. That's your area of expertise.
Right. Or what are the big seven? The big seven stocks, the FANG.
Yeah, FANG. Okay.
FANG
it needs to be bigger. It needs to be a minimum basket of like 25 stocks, I would say.
And they're just like options. There's expirations. Like this is a January, February, March FANG survivor.
Well, here's the other thing. The reason why this is good is because I think it teaches you can use this to teach survivor principles. I think also a new contest can start every week or even every day, basically. You can, let's say you and I enter the Monday contest from yesterday. So we would pick our stock. I guess we would, the contest would be open for the previous week and then close on Sunday or, whatever it is, so that you have to submit your stock pick for that week. But it'll sort of teach you how to, or why you should pick certain things. So like, yes, you can pick Facebook or something, but maybe you want like Lockheed because you're projecting overall market downturn, but Lockheed in market downturn is going to be like the only one in green, as an example.
Right. The chalk ideas start popping up, and the popularity and projecting popularity it also plays into that. Hey, speaking of this, did you see how someone was making ETFs of every NHL team? I don't know how it works. I read the headline and I was like, what? Like, that seems like they're...
Yeah, I can't see how that would work. Or I don't understand the...
long-term success and franchise success, maybe valuation stuff. I don't know exactly. But, like, if it works, it must be someone with a good idea. I don't think you can just click a button and make an ETF. You got to go through some BS to get it out there.
Yeah, they're pretty regulated. I mean...
right. And it's like in America, it's not like an ETF in Indonesia trying to steal the NHL or
okay. IP. So the way that all of these things work is like, I'm sure you can make an ETF where the total volume is like 10 grand or something. You know what I mean? So like the most an individual person can get down is like $50 because then it's like, who gives a shit? But if you're trying to like put, I don't know, over $100,000 in this NHL ETF. That seems like, I don't know. If that's possible, then like this is like a way bigger project than I would initially expect.
Maybe the owners provide liquidity somehow by putting up like 1% of the franchise to back the ETF somehow. It could work because then
wire fraud to me. That's what this feels like.
Wait, say that again?
This feels like wire fraud to me.
Dude, well, I saw a tweet that said the ETFs are happening, man. So
I guess that, I mean, people tweet about committing fraud all the time.
Right.
So I wouldn't say one precludes the other.
Well, that was just kind of a little sidebar thinking about just doing Survivor with the ETFs with this format. But dude, I like the financialized asset Survivor.
Okay, so like another idea was like cities in the United States over 1 million, or maybe over 500,000 people in population, and for a given week, over average temperature over 78 degrees or something like that.
Weather Survivor.
Yeah.
Dude, Mikey, you're killing it today with these derivatives, man. Why Survivor Atlas? The NFL Survivor seems so small compared to Weather Survivor and Fang Survivor now, dude.
Yeah. Oh, you're not a fan of the NFL? What about weather?
Right. You want to cheer for rain?
And like we get like, I don't know, Al Roker on the show next week,
Right. To be like, hey, so who you taking?
Like, I don't know if I want to burn Honolulu, in week 1, but it's
right.
tough.
Right. Oh, like I can get Chicago out of the way. It's August.
Yep.
Like they're not lasting until October. No way.
Or like he knows about this Arctic heat wave that's coming and puts in Juneau or something, or Anchorage.
Yes, and the data, it's not really, there's a clear answer to what the temperatures were, right? Like
that's why I chose that. Like you obviously can't have anything that's subjective or whatever. That's kind of stupid.
Yeah, when you first were going down this path, I was thinking the only thing that popped out me besides sports was politics.
I did think about politics, but the problem is the contests are run at the same time for the most part. You get like runoffs or something like that, but like you can't incorporate that. So like every contest terminates at the same time, which is obviously not good for Survivor. The other ideas that I had were Billboard Top 100. So you have to pick a song that's going to remain in the Billboard Top 100 for that week. And that's fine, but it only really matters once you burn 80 or whatever, because the changeover is not like the top 80 songs you can generally predict which ones are going, which ones are coming, which ones are going.
Yeah, that was a little fuzzy. I feel like one, because there's players that you don't know exist all of a sudden. Like with cities and stocks, there's a set number, but like literally me and you might drop a song that goes to number 1 and we just drop a song that ruins it. Also, it's kind of riggable. We want to make something where billions can be flowed through it, right? Not just
right.
Although
and you're right that it's an infinite subset, because any artist can be a potential pick, which is not great. And that's why I limited the cities for the weather, because you can't just pick like Sheboygan or some city that has like 40,000.
The players, like on Survivor Atlas, you picture all the teams, they each got their colors and their abbreviation. We got 100 cities.
And so I think 500,000 is a pretty good number for a US city. I don't think that there's a huge number of those cities, and that offers you enough options.
Yes, weather cities is a good team list in a way,
and it's doable all over the world. We could have like a Vietnam contingent, and it's like Hanoi or whatever, Ho Chi Minh City. You can pick. You can do your weather Survivor exclusive to Vietnam.
Dude, I know we said the very first minute of the show we weren't talking politics and we weren't talking Iran, but there was that thing where they blew up a thing and all of a sudden it started raining and they're like, "Oh, we've just had our weather controlled for 20 years." Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
I don't know what you're talking about. Usually, I feel like I have my,
Usually your ears to
my
the
ear to the railroad track, but I don't know this one.
to watch. I do not need to be talking up this one, but with that said, they got a lot of rain and they thought their weather was getting controlled, and I'm not even. I should just stop. You can go down that rabbit hole on the internet if you want.
But those were my ideas on how to survivorize things that you wouldn't typically think. And the reason why I thought it was beneficial is, is that the contest can start anytime. So like we could start our weather contest tomorrow, and let's say we get 100 entrants, and you just make your pick, and that's it. And the contest, you can run it every day, and and the contest terminates at the end of last man left.
Dude, it's brilliant, Mikey. I'm just thinking, could I just copy all the Survivor Atlas code, paste it in a new folder, and just change it to weather instead of football power ratings?
And open, a temporary contest, or not temporary, a real contest, not for real money, but just people can enter it on Survivor Atlas.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's at least like 35 states that don't really care if you run stuff like this.
But it can be for no money, so it's just like a contest.
And
then eventually you could do it for money, but the idea would be like, you want to practice your Survivor skills. Here's what you got. Here's your list of American cities over 500K, and we want to, and you could set the weather to whatever you want over. I don't know, like. Whatever it ends up being.
Could do precipitation instead of temperature too.
Sure, whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to think, because then the time of year would matter. That you run this, you can't just set it to like 90 in the middle of winter. I mean, then we're just limited to like whatever, Miami.
That's like a turbo.
Yeah.
Run a turbo short stack tournament.
Yeah, here we go, all in Miami.
In general, like in the world, when people find new ways to like turn a risky thing into a thing they can wrap their heads around, that like creates value for the world. Like it gives people a new thing to solve for, and like makes risk more understood widely. So I think you actually like benefited humanity entirely by speaking these ideas to life, Mikey. Just saying.
It vaguely reminds, and like kids could play this. It's free, and it just teaches them the ropes of Survivor.
Right.
Them.
Like Pizza Hut should run a weather Survivor.
Yeah.
Instead of Book It, like you get free pancakes. Survivor for kids, dude. Survivor Junior.
This reminds me of Z and Hack, the poker players. They were, for people that don't know, they're like, one of the best poker players in the world a long time ago, and brothers. And they had 3 other siblings, and one of them was a sister, and she was the youngest. And Z and Hack were like, 18, 19, 20, and she was like 7 or 8 or 9 or something like that. And she used to play this game called Puzzle Pirates, and it was like, some goofy cartoon game. And one of the things that you could do in Puzzle Pirates was like play poker against other people on the thing for gold that you would accumulate for your character.
Real poker, or was it something?
No, like in the game, like game credits. But it was like real poker.
The rules were real, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so she would always like go to them, and they would be like, playing like Gus at like 1K, 2K. And then she would be like, "Can you guys do the thing? Because I don't have enough gold for whatever." And so Z or Hack would be like, "Okay." And they would be 4 tabling full tilt, and then have Puzzle Pirates on the side. check raising some 7-year-old for for gold credits or something like that.
Right, like set mining. Oh, we hit it.
Yeah. He's like, okay, so he raised 300. So if we, okay, yeah, show up.
Yeah, dude, kids want to play this stuff too. And if you can find ways to do it without actual money, it may be some good lessons in there. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna dive deeper on this, Mikey. And next time we talk, maybe I even have a little website that does it.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Temperature. That's the easy one to start with.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you could even, I don't know, like you could even open it to, I like US because it is one geographical location, but you could do entire world and cities over 2 million or something like that, whatever it ends up being.
Dude, perfect idea for a survivor lifestyle podcast like this. We're getting close to the top of the hour. We should talk a few little survivor things, NFL survivor things before we get out of here. One is September 1st is when we're coming out with projections. That day, Mike and I will be doing a show. That's a Tuesday. It's the week after that where NFL starts. And remember, there's a game on Wednesday this year and Thursday in that first NFL week.
Yeah, so going off my fantasy drafts because Monday's a holiday, and so everything's been pushed to Tuesday, I think.
Monday, the
Monday before the Wednesday game is a holiday.
Okay. September 7th. Yeah, okay. That's the week that all the circus signups are going to blow up those few days. We're tracking those circus signups on our homepage. I think today I saw it's at like on pace for 23-ish, 23 million. Mikey, I know you've been keeping an eye on this little chart right here. Or sorry, I didn't put it on, but that chart. So yeah, that's in, what is that, 2 weeks away? How many days in August? 1, 2, yeah, 2 weeks away.
Is Splash posting their entrance?
Say that again?
Is Splash posting their entrance?
Well, you can go to the Splash website and see how many people signed up
onto their big boy.
Yeah. So, did you see they changed the rules on their big one, Mikey?
No, tell me.
So they had 8 rounds of double picks, and their contest they had a $5, $25, $100, and a $1K.
Yeah.
I think they all had the same 8 rounds of double picks, and then the 1K, the big buy-in where they guaranteed 21 million.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It seems like it wasn't filling fast enough because players were like, "This is too scary of a contest." Like 8 double picks, you got to pick 26 teams. Like no one, like people are scared no one's going to get through, and one person scoops it.
I want to come back to that, but I want to say this before I forget. I get annoyed when people complain about the rules of anything that everybody is going to be subject to. Like, learn and adapt and figure it out. That's the whole point. Like,
yeah, but entertainment value is what drives.
Okay. Right. That's fair. That is fair pushback. I am on board with your response to my response.
And all the players who already signed up, they were already saying, basically signaling, we're cool with this. We can take a little risky thing. But since they maybe were on track to not hit the 21 million guarantee, they're like, oh shoot, like we can't scare everyone.
So what did they change it to?
So they got rid of the first 2 double pick weeks, which were it was week 3 and week 6, which I thought was kind of cool to have a couple weeks mixed in the first couple months.
That is unique. That is interesting.
So the $5, the $25, the $100 survivors, which all you can do 150 entries, and we're planning on having them all hosted on Atlas as well.
I will be max entering the $5. That feels awesome to me.
Hell yeah, dude.
That feels like and also because it's not again with the poker garbage, but it's like that. That is way different than entering like a $5 poker tournament or like a $10 poker tournament, because like This $5 thing is like, I can just enter the picks anytime I want, like over the course of a week. I don't have to sit at my computer and like do things. Like if I leave the computer for a period of time, I'm going to be out of the $5 tournament.
Yeah,
the poker one.
I love that about Survivor. You do your thinking, do your submissions, and you can, even during the games, you don't have to be strategic thinking. You can just be being an animal yelling at the TV, right?
Yeah, and also it's like it's 5, so like it's not 1K, so you can punt. You can you'd be like, I don't know, should I do like Bengals this week? And it's like, you don't have to like spend a whole bunch of time on it.
Right. You can go with your ball reads instead of thinking, is Gabe going to yell at me for picking a 1-point favorite or a pick'em team in Survivor?
That's exactly right. And it's like, if you're wrong, you are wrong to the tune of like $2.30 or something like that,
Right.
So it's like you're not like completely like if I'm wrong on like 5 entries in that are 1K each, so it's like $5,000, and I'm like, that is a bummer. Like I'm gonna be bummed that I'm off by $3,700 or something like that. But if I wrong enter, not like don't enter a team, but if I like enter crap teams and the decision was stupid for I don't know, 9 $5 teams, like, who gives a shit?
Right. It's like if you're playing a home game with your friends, like poker game, you're like, I'll call this with 7-2 suited. I don't care.
Like, or like you get to a river and you're like, he's bluffing like 3% of the time. But that 3%, if I call with this hand, is worth the I don't know, the mental enjoyment of the complete collapse if I call and he is bluffing.
Yeah. Hey, right on. So this contest, it does have the double picks, 8 rounds of it. It's going to be like harder because of that. But the $5 one you're talking about, it's probably like super soft because of these things you're throwing out. It's like the micro stakes, people more willing to splash around. But it's also cool because you get to play with the portfolio. You get to have 150 entries.
Yeah, and what better way to practice for next year if you want to graduate?
Right on.
It also teaches you like there's a little bit to like navigating the software, which I'm decent at because of the World Cup. Like downloading the CSV or whatever and uploading that for your picks.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm glad you brought that up because for Atlas, we're going to have all these contests is the plan, and we're building a thing to edit 150 entries at once. Like, you can go through Excel and copy and paste stuff and all that stuff you want, but we have like a graphical interface for making. I'm not sure if anywhere else in the world has that. So it's been fun, kind of building a new thing. And I know we're past the hour mark.
Yeah.
We're trying to talk about this properly, but I want to just throw this out there. Maybe this is a tease for next week's episode, but like Splash changing the rules, and then Circa got kind of snarky with them on Twitter. Like, like Splash was being kind of fussy with Circa saying, "Oh, don't fly to Vegas to play their contest." And then when Splash like blinked, like that's how we phrased it, then Circa's like kind of being a little catty back at them saying, "Oh, we don't change the rules." So it's starting to get interesting. I think my read is that both contests are going to be fine, and it's going to be evidence that the Survivor pie is growing and everyone's like happy they don't need to be this way. But
a little bit of a different market for each,
Yeah, but just seeing them be a little like, rare.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that develops over the week and the rest of the month and going into the season. And it's kind of just a new type of drama in Survivor. We've never seen the two operators be at their throats. And really back in the day, do you ever remember Poker Stars and Party Poker having stuff like this? Like they would both have Sunday contests, but it wasn't like people were saying, don't go there, go here.
I mean, the only rivalry was like Full Tilt and Poker Stars.
Yeah,
the other ones were always like under the radar type sites that like weren't trying to attract a bunch of I don't know, attention to themselves anyway.
Well,
like Bovada never says anything.
Party Poker was the king before those two were, right? They had their
that's true. But also social media in the way that it exists now didn't really exist then. So it's hard to imagine how even in what vehicle they could go back and forth. So
yes, so interesting to watch that play out. We'll see how everyone, works through as we get to the season. And next week, Mikey, we got another show. We're gonna start talking football more. We'll be a week away from our projections. We're gonna start throwing around teams. There's lots of stuff I want to feel out your kind of first takes on, because it just helps me shape what like the every man thinks about this. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And dude, I have a huge list of topics that we didn't get into today, man. I gotta say, you got me too jazzed up about Weather Survivor.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thanks, Mikey. Thanks everyone for joining us. And stick with us all season long. Happy Tuesday.
Later.